Hi, welcome to WakeTV. I'm your host, Taylor Shaw. It's fall, y'all, and we got a lot in store, so stay tuned. Each year, the chair of the Wake County Board of Commissioners gives the State of the County address. Here is her speech.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate your introduction, I think. I'm not sure. So before I get started, I do want to say something. One of the things that my pastor and his wife often do, because many of you know Raymond and I have been attending our church for about 20 years. And one of the things that our pastor's wife always does when we are somewhere and someone is celebrating something and they end up at church for a service is she acknowledges them and she says, look, all these people are here for your party. So since Matt mentioned my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, I want to acknowledge one of my special sorority sisters who's celebrating a birthday, Miss Dina Hamilton. This is your party. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Matt. I am excited to celebrate a year of successes in Wake County tonight. But first, I want to acknowledge the tragedy that is unfolding in the western part of our state. I want to extend Wake County's deepest sympathies to our colleagues and the residents in the counties of Western North Carolina and all across the Southeast. Our hearts are broken for the people enduring devastating flooding in the mountains, and we stand ready to help any way that we can. Right now, more than 100 Wake County public safety personnel from emergency management and the sheriff's office, Wake EMS, and local fire and police departments are assisting with recovery efforts in the West. I want to thank them for their service. Many of them didn't have much notice before leaving and will help with the rescue missions and recovery work for weeks to come. If you're looking for a way to directly help the people impacted by this disaster, I encourage you to give by going to nc.gov/donate. The United Way will send the donations to nonprofits working to meet the immediate need of storm victims, like food, water, and cleaning supplies. We need to come together to support our fellow North Carolinians, because like I always say, we are better together. So some of you might actually remember that the theme of last year's State of the County was Better Together. This year, we're taking it a step further with Growing Together. Our team dug, pun intended, into that plant metaphor. We talked about growing flowers and farming produce. We talked about reaping the fruits of our labor and what it takes to grow a plant. It reminded me of when I was a kid and my family thought that there were very few illnesses that couldn't be cured by something in the garden. Anytime somebody had a cough or was congested, my Caribbean grandmothers, Grandma Elma and Tante Jean, would head out into the garden and pick just the right herbs like thyme and coriander to fix you right on up. Even when my oldest son was a baby, he was congested and they both ran out and made him a tea and wouldn't let me give him formula because culturally, that's what we do. But I must confess, I did not inherit my grandmother's green thumb. I joked to our team when we came up with this theme that I don't grow plants. I grow people. And in the end, that's really what we're talking about when we look at how Wake County is growing. We're growing families in our neighborhoods, and we're growing in the ways that we support each other. Statistically, we're growing by about 51 residents a day in our vibrant community of 1.2 million people. That's like adding another Nightdale over the course of a year. I saw Nightdale in the room, right there. And our new neighbors aren't all young saplings. Nearly half of them are age 55 or older. That's why we use data to proactively plan for residents' changing spectrum of needs from newborns to seniors. One of the ways we help our residents thrive is by growing a strong local economy. This spring, Wake County was ranked the #1 best county to live in North Carolina and the #3 best county to live in America. With accolades like these, it's no surprise that companies and their employees want to come here. Wake County sells itself. In just 5 years, we've announced 39 economic development projects. These expanded businesses are expected to create more than 11,000 new jobs and contribute more than $5.7 billion in capital investments. Our board and the Wake County Economic Development Team have made these impressive strides possible by investing in excellent schools, a highly skilled workforce, easy access to healthcare, and a quality of life that is unparalleled. Growth doesn't come without its challenges, though. One of the biggest is the availability of affordable housing. When regular working people can't afford safe, clean places to live, it becomes impossible for them to grow and thrive. As a board, we've set a goal this year to create and preserve 2,500 affordable housing units over the next 5 years. And our housing team has wasted no time in running towards that goal. In the past year, Wake County invested $29.1 million to preserve and create affordable housing. Since 2019, our housing staff has created and preserved over 4,000 affordable housing units, and we're not done yet. If you've ever watched our board meetings, then you know that hardly a meeting passes without housing briefing us about another exciting project. We're also helping families stay in their own affordable homes. In August, we launched a major repair program, which offers eligible homeowners 0% interest for loans for accessibility upgrades and repairs to roofing, wells, and septic systems. Earlier this year, we reopened Cornerstone Service Center after a multi-year renovation. The reimagined space provides comfortable, efficient apartments to people who've experienced chronic homelessness. The center is already full, and residents are receiving wraparound services as they work towards permanent supportive housing. Our board believes that housing is a human right and not a privilege. We remain committed to ensuring that every person in Wake County has a safe, affordable place to live. As people struggle to find affordable housing, they're also struggling to put food on the table. Currently, more than 1 in 10 Wake County residents are food insecure. Our food pantry partners have seen up to a 40% increase in clients since the start of the year. Wake County's food security manager has worked tirelessly to implement innovative solutions and increase collaboration with community partners who are already working to end hunger. Our current food security plan invests $7.2 million of federal pandemic relief funds to improve food access. We also have not 1, but 2 prescription produce programs. We're partnering with some great organizations to provide North Carolina-grown fresh fruits and vegetables to food insecure residents who have diet-related health concerns, because food is medicine. We also support food pantries in more than 25 public schools and help fund free breakfast and lunch for eligible students in over 40 schools. In 2024, food and shelter aren't our only basic needs. Internet access has become a real necessity in our society. I'm guessing there are more than a few of you in here who've gone into panic mode when your home internet has gone out for the day. Not that I know this from experience or anything. But just try to imagine how difficult life would be without reliable internet access. If you can't get online, you can't access your medical charts, you'll have a harder time paying bills, you can't apply for jobs or housing, you can't complete your school assignments, much less apply for higher education. It's also difficult to stay connected to friends and family. It surprises a lot of people that as prosperous as Wake County is, we still have nearly 25,000 households that do not have internet, and nearly 7,000 that don't have a computer. The pandemic worsened the digital divide, which is why Wake County is working to close it right now. Our digital inclusion project team spent months meeting with people in their communities across the county, listening to their needs. The result is our new digital inclusion plan. We found that many people simply can't afford the high prices for internet, and some can't even get an internet service provider to expand service to their homes. People have major concerns about getting affordable devices and learning how to use them. Seniors are especially worried about cyber scams. But we have already taken action. This month is National Cybersecurity Month. So next week, we are launching a new program with Raleigh and Cary to teach older adults and small business owners how to avoid tricky cyber scams and keep their information safe. To help with devices, the Wake County Libraries secured a grant to loan wireless hotspots and laptops to residents. We've also received 4 grants to bring broadband to locations without internet. Through partnerships with the state of North Carolina and several internet service providers, we'll get $17.6 million worth of broadband built out. More than 4,000 homes and businesses will get internet connection in the next 2 years. And we've already applied for more funds. As essential as it is to be online, we also know that folks absolutely need to log off and touch some grass, as the kids say. So whether you enjoy quiet walks in nature, playing on a playground, rolling up your sleeves in the garden, Wake County's got you covered. This year, we will open our first new park in 18 years. Beach Bluff County Park is nestled between Garner and Fuquay-Varina, and now is in the home stretch of construction. Soon, residents will be able to explore this unique property of green space and forest, including a canopy walk that lets you stroll through the treetops. Park visitors will be immersed in agricultural education with on-site classes, a community garden, and a food forest with fruit and nut trees. That's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. In 2026, we'll open Kellum Wyatt County Park on the border of Raleigh and Knightdale. This 3-generation family farm was donated to the county for everyone's enjoyment and will feature a pond with overlooks, boating, walking trails, and a community garden. I'm personally not an outdoorsy gal myself, even though I was a Girl Scout. But even I know how much fresh air can nourish your body and your soul. We can't forget about nourishing our minds either, though. We're expanding resources at our libraries so that all residents can enjoy them. Last fiscal year, Wake County Libraries had more than 3 million visits. But learning doesn't just happen inside our buildings. We're also replacing our bookmobile so the library staff can bring the love of reading to more communities. This year, our libraries are expanding their digital offerings, including more audiobooks and ebooks. Shout out to the Libby app, if you know, you know. In a major step toward equity, our library system has added more than 10,000 Spanish language items to its collection. Libraries that serve communities with significant Indian American populations have also added titles in several Indian languages. We're also purchasing critical assertive technology to help people with disabilities easily access our library computers. This November, voters will have the opportunity to enhance our libraries further through a bond referendum. The $142 million bond would replace, expand, and renovate an anticipated 13 libraries across the county. Y'all, I was a little bit bummed that our friends from the Wake County Board of Education and Superintendent Robert Taylor couldn't be here with us tonight, but we understand that they have a really important board meeting today. When you have this many awesome partners, it's inevitable that someone couldn't make it today. But I still want to acknowledge how grateful we are for Wake County Public Schools and their dedication to collaboration. Staff from Wake County and Wake Schools work closely together to ensure that our students and educators have the right facilities to support learning. This year, we opened 3 brand new schools in Apex, Holly Springs, and Fuquay-Varina. Over the next 5 years, we'll build 8 schools and renovate another 7 existing schools across the county. By investing over $1 billion in these projects, we're ensuring that teachers have the space to support their class sizes and the technology they'll need to educate students for decades to come. In 2024, y'all, it's just as important to have classrooms with enough outlets to charge a fleet of laptops as it is to have, that stack of textbooks covered in paper grocery bags like we used to have. So I told y'all that I don't know much about plants, but I do know that plants are most vulnerable when they are seedlings. The same can be said for children, especially those that interact with our child welfare system. Those youth need our attention, care, and protection. Those families don't need our judgment. They need our support. We are investing in our foster care system so children can have a safe, supportive adult to care for them when their families are experiencing turmoil. Right now, we have more than 400 children and teens in foster care in Wake County, but less than 1 million to less than 100 active foster families. I need 1 million foster families. Because of our critical need for more licensed foster families, we're hiring a new social worker whose focus will be to recruit and retain foster parents. We also know that when a child's extended family gets involved in their care, they are 20% more likely to find a safe, permanent home, eliminating the need for continued foster care services. So this year, we're adding funding for a kinship engagement unit with 3 kinship social workers and a supervisor. We will strengthen our kinship care and keep more kids with trusted adults that they know and love. At Wake County, we know that we can't do it all, although we try. So we do everything we can to support the community partners who also work to make this a great place to live, work, play, and stay. This year, we've allocated $7 million to a dozen different community capital projects to help fund some of these organizations' good work. Their focuses range from food security and affordable housing to health education. 3 of those groups receive funding through our new Impact Fund, which provides grants for smaller community partners with fewer staff and resources. 4 organizations have already had ribbon cuttings. A Place at the Table opened their food truck this summer, and they're already working to reduce food insecurity. Earlier today, North Raleigh Ministries held a grand opening for their new Crisis Development Center. And since the soft launch of their updated food pantry in May, the center has distributed almost 1,000 grocery orders. I just highlighted a bunch of exciting wins. My colleagues gave us some great insights in their video earlier. I like to remind people that none of these amazing things can happen if our people don't feel safe. Students can't learn, families can't put down roots, companies can't invest if they aren't confident that Wake County is a safe place. Our number one duty as leaders is to ensure that our residents feel as safe as possible. I'm so grateful to have a sheriff who takes that duty seriously and collaborates with us to make it happen. I'll speak with Sheriff Rowe in just a little bit, but first I'd like to highlight some of his great work. Last year, his deputies responded to well over 113,000 calls for service. In 2022, when Sheriff Rowe was sworn in, his office had hundreds of vacancies. And since then, he and his team have hired for many of those roles, filling every single sworn deputy position. Several positions remain open in the detention division, which is why we've added a dedicated recruiter this year. We've added a new patrol positions to help keep up with the increased calls for assistance. We've also created a new support position to implement body-worn cameras in detention facilities. When Wake EMS is dispatched, we know that seconds count. That's why we're improving how they work too, and investing in training and equipment. At the end of 2023, we proudly opened the doors of the new Garner, Maine EMS station. It's the first of several new regional hubs that will support all the EMS stations in their areas. That means EMTs and paramedics can spend less time driving back and forth across the county to restock their trucks and more time doing what they do best, which is saving lives. Our team has finalized the design for the next hub, the new Cary EMS Cary Main station. It will have 8 bays for ambulances and an expanding restocking and storage area for critical supplies. On top of that, we've invested in 10 brand new ambulances this year, and they just hit the road a couple of weeks ago. How many of y'all got to explore an ambulance earlier or touch a truck at the event outside? It was pretty cool, right? I was super impressed. Meanwhile, our EMS field staff vacancy rate has dropped to 2% after an all-time high in 2019. That's the direct result of boosting compensation and creating proactive hiring pathways. We're now in our 3rd year of a Career in a Year program for our fire academy, which uses grassroots recruitment to find the best talent from a wide variety of populations. We improved the application process, made the academy free, and gave recruits competitive salaries and benefits during their intensive training. Not only have we meaningfully improved diversity, but we've also boosted the pass rate of the EMT portion of the Fire Academy and radically lowered attrition. Our support of Wake firefighters doesn't stop at Academy graduation, though. This January, Wake County launched a truly impactful campaign for Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month. Our team created videos featuring expert opinions and heartfelt testimonies from firefighters impacted by occupational cancer. The series drew national attention, and I highly encourage all of you to watch it. But awareness is just one step toward meaningful change. We have purchased a second set of turnout gear, so firefighters in the fire tax district will always have a clean set of protective gear, even on back-to-back calls. All of our fire stations utilize state-of-the-art air filtration systems to remove dangerous toxins, and new stations have even more precautions. We couldn't get our incredible public safety teams so prepared if it weren't for our partners right here at WakeTech. This summer, WakeTech East opened in Wendell. It's beautiful. Not only is the gorgeous new campus providing excellent opportunities for the people of Eastern Wake County, but it's also offering cutting-edge public safety training. The Public Safety Simulation Complex is already up and running, providing multiple departments with realistic spaces to practice interagency responses. WakeTech just broke ground on an exciting new fire rescue training center out there, and it'll have a high-rise with a sprinkler lab and a tower with space for rope rescue and other intricate maneuvers. Across campus, the Advanced Technology Center will have labs and simulations to give students the experience to jump right into our growing advanced manufacturing and biopharmaceutical fields. WakeWorks continues to grow as WakeTech's premier apprenticeship program. It allows people to get impeccable training along with on-the-job experience, all while getting paid. Plus, we're developing the talent pipeline for local employers, including Wake County government, David Ellis. At the Perry Health Sciences campus, WakeTech will soon begin construction on a new 120,000 square foot facility, including a simulation hospital. They'll be able to grow their exemplary nursing program and add new in-demand programs like respiratory therapy. The projects at WakeTech East and the Perry Health Sciences campus were made possible through enthusiastic public support of bond measures in 2018 and 2022. So thank you. I don't have to tell you all that it is an election year. But what I will say is that Wake County voters don't play when it comes to their civic duty. In the 2020 election, we had record-breaking turnout. This year, we have the highest number of registered voters in North Carolina. Our Board of Elections prepared well for this surge of voters by hiring more support staff. They added security measures so our ballot counting process is protected and beyond reproach. We know that more than half of the voters will use early voting in a presidential election year. So we've added more early voting sites for a total of 22. That's the most in Wake County history. In fact, one of those sites will be right here at the Scott Northern Wake campus. Remember that you can both register and vote at any early voting site. We've introduced 275 new ADA-compliant ballot marking machines across every early voting site and Election Day polling place. This year, the elections team also taught the community about the new voter ID rules and helped almost 700 Wake voters get free photo ID cards. This will be a secure, orderly election in which every eligible voter's ballot is counted. Early voting begins on November 17th, so go ahead and make your voting plan now. Earlier this year, my colleagues and I passed a new strategic plan that included measurable and impactful goals. As part of the process, we thought about what kind of organization we want Wake County to be. And the result is our new vision statement: passionate, proactive, purposeful. I hope that by the end of this evening, you can really see the passion of Wake County, as well as how we're being proactive in meeting community needs and purposeful in how we collaborate. That's what growing together is all about. Before we get into our panel discussion, I wanted to pause for a moment to honor someone who isn't here with us tonight. We've made amazing progress this past year, but we also lost a commissioner who made a lot of it possible. Dr. James West was an incredible leader and an even better friend. He passed shortly after last year's State of the County, and he's been dearly missed ever since. Dr. West used to call me on Sundays. He was a deacon at his church, and he would tell me about the sermon that day, and we talked about it every Sunday, and I would tell him about what my pastor preached, and there are lots of Sundays that I really want to pick up the phone and call him. Sometimes I think that I'll call Sylvia instead. Dr. West's wife, Sylvia West, is here with us tonight. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you all for allowing me that moment to honor his memory. Thank you.
Five, hit, ho! On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Everybody feel good?
Sir, yes, sir!
Where are we?
Wake County, sir!
Who are we?
Wake County, Academy 14, sir!
What are we planning to do?
Make Wake County a better place to work, live, and play, sir! Woo!
Academy 14 got fear?
There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Academy 14 got no fear, sir!
Five, hooray, fast!
Each year between October and March, the Warmth for Wake program brings volunteers together who chop up firewood and deliver it to those who need it most all over the county. Weather permitting, volunteers meet every other Saturday throughout the winter to chop and deliver firewood. In addition to firewood delivery, Warmth for Wake also distributes new and gently used space heaters to residents in need. If you'd like to learn more about how you can help, please visit the website on your screen. Did you know 1 in 30 baby boomers has hepatitis C? People born between 1945 and 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. Hepatitis C can hide in the body for years or even decades and can cause cirrhosis, cancer, and even death. The good news is hepatitis C can be treated. The first step is to get a simple, free blood test. Don't be a statistic. Visit wake.gov/hepc today to schedule your free blood test.
That's all for this episode of Wake TV. Keep up with all the latest Wake County news by visiting us online at wake.gov/news. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube so you can always stay in the loop. We'll see you next time.